You can learn 4 languages in the next 12 months. All you need is a daily routine that works. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it. But you'll have to stay consistent. You'll have to do the work. You'll need 2 hours a day of learning, 30 minutes per language. That's all you need. The secret to making this work without getting confused is using language islands. Instead of learning random words, you prepare and rehearse the specific sentences you actually want to use in real life. About your job, your family, your hobbies. When you take these exact same personal stories and translate them into all 4 languages, you actually learn much faster. You won't mix them up because you'll be directly comparing how each language expresses the same thoughts. You'll see the differences in structure and vocabulary side by side, so that you don't end up confused and mixing the languages. So much repetition with the exact same sentences translated will also help you learn much faster. Because when you're learning the same exact sentences about your work in a foreign language, after having learned them already in 1 or 2 languages, they'll be way easier to recognize and remember. You've already seen that list before, just in a different form. Most people fail because they waste time on apps like Duolingo or watching endless YouTube videos, and they call it immersion. But speaking is a skill like any other skill. You get better at it by practicing. And you could try to learn by speaking to native speakers all day, but the problem is that you probably don't have access to them. And even if you would, when you are a beginner, you won't know what to say. So you won't say anything, and because you're not able to say much, you won't practice much, and you will not improve at all. Even if you're extroverted, talking to native speakers is good, but it has its limits. They usually won't correct your mistakes because they want to be polite. And you'll eventually reach a plateau where you can communicate, but you stop improving. And you'll keep making the same errors over and over again because you aren't getting feedback. So here's the plan to fix that. You're going to learn 2,000 sentences for each language in 12 months. These sentences are your language islands. You don't just study these sentences, you drill them until they are automatic. You read them, you listen to them, and you repeat them aloud over and over again. At least 50 times each in total. And 100 times would be better. And this will develop the muscle memory you need to speak without thinking. For extra vocabulary, you need to memorize 30 new words a day per language. You can do this easily by using mnemonic associations. This means creating weird or funny stories to link the sound of a word to its meaning. Your brain remembers images and absurd things much better than raw data. And 30 words a day means over 10,000 words a year per language. That is more than enough to understand everything and speak fluently. You can also create associations with chains of words, joining multiple words from different languages that have the same meaning. For example, dog is perro in Spanish, chien in French, and cane in Italian. You can visualize a dog catching a parrot, perro, chaining it, chien, and putting it in a can, cane. And that way you remember that a dog is perro in Spanish, chien in French, and cane in Italian. And that's how you learn massive amounts of vocabulary in 4 different languages really fast. But you also need to speak all 4 languages. And for this, you should use shadowing. Listen to the audio files of your sentences and repeat them aloud at the same time, copying the natural rhythm and intonation of the language. Don't worry about grammar books. You learn grammar in context. Every rule you will ever need is already hidden inside those 2,000 sentences. You didn't study grammar before you learned to speak your native language, right? Then you don't need to study it now either. Your brain will absorb the patterns naturally. Your daily routine for each language should look like this. Spend 5 to 10 minutes a day learning 30 new words with mnemonics. And use the rest of the 30 minutes to rehearse your language islands. Lots and lots of repetition. Shadowing. And then you move on to the next language. And you do 30 minutes a day of this with each one of the 4 languages. And if you do this consistently, you will have thousands of practical sentences in all 4 languages ready to use in conversation by the end of the year. If you have the discipline to stick to this 2-hour daily routine, you'll be holding conversations in all 4 languages in just a few months. And 1 year from now, you can either be a polyglot speaking multiple languages, or you can still be wasting your time, playing with Duolingo and counting the hours you've wasted watching Drooling Spanish. The choice is yours. If you want to learn how to do all of this, check out my tutorial videos.